Well, we've got a super sweet Savage kitchen for you today. Of course, Executive Chef Scott Savage, joined today by pastry chef Jeremy Garcia.
Hello.
And we're talking about sorbet. How in the world do you put this together?
Okay, so we're going to cover a simple recipe here to make Midori melon sorbet, but this sorbet recipe can really be used to make any kind of sorbet you want. Just substitute equal amounts of the puree we're using here with the melon for any kind of raspberry, strawberry, peach, whatever, and you can make a great sorbet. So the main thing you need for a sorbet is a simple syrup. We already made this earlier, so it's about a pound of sugar and 2 cups of water. If you want, you can add a little bit of lime zest to it or lemon zest to it if you're making like a lemon sorbet, depending on what kind of flavors you want. We just made a simple, regular, plain old simple syrup here. You want this to bring it to a boil so all that sugar melts in there, and then let it cool down. Because you never want to add a hot syrup to your fresh fruit because it's going to screw up the flavors. Especially if you add it to like strawberries or any kind of berries, they don't do very well with heat at all, and you're going to lose some of that flavor and some of the vibrancy of color, especially with things that are green like the Midori melon. So you want about 2 pounds and about 4 ounces total of fruit puree. So these melons ended up being about 3 pounds with their skin on and with the seeds. So we don't need to use all of these melons to get the 2 pounds. So we're just going to leave a little bit out. But you can just chop these up. And then we're going to add this syrup to it. And this makes it really easy to puree it together if you've already got that liquid in there. And then we're going to add the Midori melon at the end. So if you want to go ahead and
be careful,
blend that up a little bit.
Maybe I should let you do this.
You got it.
you should have brought the industrial.
And you can also do this in a blender. If you've got like a blender to make drinks or whatever, you can use that as well. Or a food processor, that works just the same.
Maybe cutting it up a little smaller might be a better option too to help you get into this. Just trying to make Stacy work for this one. I'm going to earn this one.
Work for my food today.
Exactly. So could you do this like if you had some oranges left over, Jeremy? Like
Yeah.
fill
If
out
you
some oranges?
Yeah, you can take, even if you just use straight orange juice and substitute it for the melon flavor you're using, you're going to have a great orange sorbet.
Nice.
And I would even add some of that orange zest into your syrup so you get even more of that great orange flavor.
Very nice.
And can people mix fruits with this, different kinds, or is it better to just keep with one?
I like to do a couple of different varieties of sorbets. You can do like, I've done blackberry apple, or say lime and melon. You can do mixed berries if you want. As long as your total weight of your ingredients are about 2 pounds, you'll be fine.
Might be an easier way to do it, I was going to say. If you get in there, tilt it a little bit, maybe on its side.
Oh, there you go.
Because it'll actually chop that fruit down into there. Oh. All right. Oh, there's one chopped. Another one. They're hiding on me now.
This
Okay.
is another good way, I guess, too, to make sure that you're using up maybe any old fruit that you have
Sure.
or things that you haven't eaten in the house before they go bad.
Yeah, that's one great thing about a lot of these fruits is as they get riper, they may not be as great raw when you slice them, but their flavor intensifies and they make great sorbets. So if you've got a handful of berries that are starting to go bad and getting kind of mushy, their flavor is still great, and you can use those. They're going to make a fantastic sorbet.
So
Or
once we're
basically-
all...
Kind of what we did on a previous episode is making the coulis, the puree. It's almost pretty much what we're at this point in time right here with that, isn't it?
So we've got our sorbet base. We're going to go ahead and add the Midori melon liqueur.
The good stuff.
Yeah, if this is fantastic stuff. It's got great flavor. If you don't have access to this, you don't have to use it. It's not very important. You just want to make sure your melon's got really, really great flavor. If you've got good melon plus Midori, the flavor is going to be absolutely amazing. So we're only going to add about a 1/4 cup.
You don't need to cook the alcohol out of that?
No, because we're adding so little of
Little of
it that the alcohol percentage in there isn't going to throw off the freezing.
Okay.
And then we can add a little bit of lime juice, and that's just going to give us a little bit of zest. If you want to add the lime zest as well, you can do that. But we're just going to get a little bit of that flavor from that juice in there, give a little bit of acidity, a little bit of bite. And the really important thing about these sorbets is you want that base to be really, really cold before you try to freeze it. Especially if you're using a home ice cream maker like this one right here. We got that one over at Chef's Catalog for I think $40. And it's a really simple ice cream maker. There are some like the old-fashioned style with the churn style. You want your ice cream base or sorbet base to be as cold as possible. That way it's going to freeze even faster. If you're trying to use one of these with a bowl that's already frozen and you pour in a sorbet syrup that's not cold enough or a little bit warm, it won't freeze at all properly. Whereas if you use one that's really, really cold and you let it sit for a while, it's going to freeze perfectly.
So what happens once we have this all ready and all mixed in here?
Yeah, so all we'll do now is we'll just let this chill in the fridge for maybe a couple hours, and then we can pour it in our ice cream maker, mix it up until it freezes, gets nice and thick, and then you can either pack it into a container to freeze for later, or just go ahead and eat it all right then for dessert if you'd like.
So definitely a cool idea for some of those hot summer days that may be headed our way.